This is a demonstration of CPA compliance in heat endpoint security in order to meet important UK CESG security standards. Let's get the acronyms out of the way first. CPA stands for Commercial Product Assurance and is an accreditation awarded by the CESG, which stands for the Communications Electronic Security Group. CESG is the National Technical Authority for Information Assurance within the UK and is tasked with providing assistance to UK government departments on IT security. The Commercial Product Assurance Scheme evaluates commercial off-the-shelf products and their developers against published security and development standards. These CPA certified products can be used by government, the wider public sector, and industry. CPA certification can be awarded to any security enforcing product, such as firewalls, virtualization products, cryptography, and also software execution control, which is a critical component of any layered defense on endpoints. Heat endpoint security is the first product globally to be awarded certified product status for software execution control. One very important point to note is that CPA is not just about product certification, but certification of how the solution is configured per CESG guidance. CESG acknowledge that security solutions are capable of providing protection, but in many cases they fail to do so because they haven't been configured correctly. So, in order to be CPA compliant, products must also be configured to meet security best practices, as defined by CESG. Now I'm going to show you how we've implemented CPA compliance in heat endpoint security. This is the Heat Endpoint Security Administration console. If you look in the bottom left-hand corner, you will see that CPA compliance status is enabled. And this immediately provides the administrator with confidence that the system is configured in a known good state from a security perspective. From the Tools menu, I can further check the CPA compliance settings and adjust them if needed. You can see from this page that CPA compliance mode is enabled and all of the checkboxes on the page are checked. You can see from this page there are two different groups of settings. I can configure settings for computers in their entirety, and I can also configure settings for users or groups of users regardless of which computer they're using. For software execution control, CESG required that unauthorized applications are blocked or denied by default, that local authorization is disabled, client hardening is at least set to basic, and execution logging is set to log everything. In addition, macro and script protection is set to deny all and log everything. Heat endpoint security has a relaxed logon feature which must be disabled in order to be CPA compliant. CPA compliance can be enabled, partially compliant, or disabled. When all of the checkboxes are checked, it is enabled. When none of them are checked, it is disabled. When some of them are checked, the system is partially compliant. This screen makes it very easy to see your CPA compliance settings and to make adjustments. You might decide, for example, that you want to use local authorization in your organization. As CPA mode is enabled, let's actually go and try to enable local authorization. I navigate to the default options and select local authorization, which is currently disabled. I enable it and apply that setting, and immediately I get a dialog which tells me that I'm not allowed to make this change because CPA is enabled. I can, however, go back to the CPA screen and make a configuration change for local authorization. I get a warning that I'm about to go into partial CPA compliance mode. Unchecking any of the boxes on this screen doesn't make any changes to the underlying configuration. But if you uncheck these boxes, you can then go to the underlying configuration screen and make the associated configuration changes. So I can now go back to my local authorization page and I can make this change. You will also notice on the main screen that CPA compliance status is now set to partial. So this will always be visible to me. If I want to become fully compliant, I can return to the CPA configuration screen and I can check the local authorization box. And I'm done. If you remember, when I unchecked the local authorization box on this screen, it didn't make an underlying configuration change. I still had to go back to the local authorization screen and make a change there. However, when I check the box and enable CPA compliance, it will go and make the underlying configuration changes to put the system in a compliant state. You can see this by going back to the default options page, and you can see that local authorization is now set to disabled. This is the real strength and value of the CPA compliance feature. With a single click, I can get the system into a known secure state. If you've invested a lot of time and money into implementing a security solution, do you want to think it is secure or do you want to know it is secure? With a single click in Heat Endpoint Security, you know you've got a secure system. This is the easy button for software execution control, and while this is a UK government certification, the same easy button security concept applies equally for non-government and also for non-UK organizations. The final point I want to cover is execution logging. CESG recommend that systems log everything to be compliant. However, in real-world environments, if you log every time an application or executable file is run, these logs can get very big very quickly, and generally customers will only log everything for troubleshooting purposes. We have obtained approval from CESG to allow customers to change from log everything to log access denied and still remain compliant. In this case, you get a warning which requires the administrator to get the agreement from your certification authority before proceeding. Once they have that agreement, the system is still considered to be CPA compliant. And we can confirm this by navigating back to the CPA compliance page, or simply by looking at the CPA compliance status on the main page.